Hello everybody, this is Lizzie from My Ambitious Art. Thanks for joining me here today. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be making a two-tiered dessert tray. I have prefabricated a little blank that I'm going to be using to pour my resin. I'm using some potpourri that smells really good and some gold leaf flakes, and I'm going to be using some transparent resin. Now I'm pouring this form to make spindles for my tray, and this is probably more than I need, but I'll take what I need and save the rest for another project. Here I'm taking two little blocks of mahagony to make a little bead on each end of my spindles. So I'm going to epoxy them together with the resin piece. I'm going to be showing the spindles both together so the length of the video doesn't get too long. The process is pretty much the same, except for the shorter spindle will have a slight finial on the top. Here you can see I'm taking off part of the mahogany on one end with my parting tool and a saw, and this is the end that I will be attaching an epoxy resin piece as my finial. Now I'm sanding my piece down. I start out with a 60 grit and I work my way up to a 600 grit, and then I use a wet dry micro mesh pad at 1000 grit. I'm using my drill press to drill a hole on the end of my spindles, and I'm going to be using a double-sided machine screw to insert into the spindles. Here you can see I have two kinds of wood. The first one is the main body, and it's going to be maple. And I'm using some mahogany as a contrast wood. What I'll be doing here is cutting that curve that you can see drawn with a pencil with a bandsaw, and I'm going to attach these two boards together with some CA glue, so when I cut them both on the bandsaw together, they will have the same cut and there will be no gaps. What I'll be doing now is cutting out another little slice of this round piece. This is going to be where I'm going to pour some more potpourri resin. So it's going to have a spiral of the same beautiful resin pattern in it on both plates. So I'm taking that cutout. You can see where my resin will be. The rest of the section will be glued together. Here I'm creating a blank to pour my resin. First I have to glue a base at the bottom, and then after that's on, I'm going to be attaching some tape all the way around, plus reinforcing the bottom with tape so the resin doesn't leak out. I apologize for not having that resin pour on film, but it's much the same as the first one, same ingredients, same resin, and I had to wait 2 days for this to cure. Now I'm just adding a little piece of sacrificial wood so I can get this attached to the chuck on my lathe. I'm working on the bottom sections of the plates first. There's a lot of material to take off, the resin, the plywood from the bottom of the blank, and so this took a little while to get off and cleaned up. Here I am creating a mortise on the bottom of the plate. I'm just using one of my carbides to create a rim around the edge. Now I'm sanding. I'm starting out again with 60 grit, working my way all the way up to 600 grit. After sanding, I get it cleaned up with some denatured alcohol to get all the dust off. For the finish, I'll be using Axe abrasive sanding paste to put a nice finish on both of my plates. It's food safe. Now that the abrasive paste has been worked in, I'm using the polishing paste to put a nice sheen on both plates. Each plate has a 3/8 inch drilled hole in the center. This will accommodate an insert nut, which you can see here. And those get pounded in, and I'll secure them with some epoxy on the bottom of the plates. And now I'm attaching my double-ended machine screws on either end of the long spindle and one end of the short spindle. I'm spraying the spindles with some polyurethane high gloss. And now comes the fun part, to put it together. I hope everything fits. So here's my stand. I really like the way that some of the potpourri ingredients have a wood tone in it, and it kind of brings everything together. There's just enough gold leaf to give it a little bit of sparkle without looking gaudy. And I love the colors in the maple and the mahogany. The grain is beautiful. And the two put together really creates something different and unique. I really want to thank you for joining me for my fun project today. Your support for my channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing is really appreciated. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. You're in store for a lot more fun project videos. Each piece is unique, and I hope you will join me another day. Have a good one.